good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're from, wherever you're tuning in from. How's it going, everybody? I'm going live. I'm going live. Yeah. Do you like that? Yeah, going live. Going live, going live. This live is brought to you by my book, Dialogues, Oklahoma Independent Cinema. What else? Filmmakers, actors, and the future of AI in film. Yeah, that's my book. You can get it at Amazon for $14.99 plus shipment. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's my book right there. Little insights in the struggles of independent filmmaking here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I interview 14 other professionals in town, writers, directors, producers of the sorts. Um, so here we are, going to. It's the first. Happy New Year to everybody. It's the first, and well, it's a pretty good first. It's a pretty good first. 2026. The first thing I'm going to do is premiere Stray Kids. That's the first thing I'm going to do on the first of 2026. That's the first goal. Just knock it out, get it done with. Um, yeah, it's been a chill day. It's been a chill day. I've been just trying to push it, promote it, but essentially just been kind of relaxing, to be honest. I've been watching a lot of movies tonight. I watched Becky. What else did I watch? I watched An Honest Thief. What else did I watch? I feel like I watched something else. I don't remember, but watched some movies. I was just relaxing, chilling. I watched a comedy that was like a Christmas special. It was like Who Killed Santa Claus? What do you call it? A Murderville story. Kind of interesting with Bateman, Jason Bateman, is that his name? Bateman. Anyways, so yeah. I'm tuning in to remind you, to remind everybody that today's a special night because not only is the first of the year, congratulations to everybody who made it this far, but essentially it's also the premiere of Stray Kids. The premiere of Stray Kids is, may not be a big deal to everybody else, but it's a big deal to me because it's a movie that has taken me a long time to make. I gave it about 2 years in the film festival circuit, and it did okay. I got selected. I got Best Actor, which is surprising because I had a mask the whole time, so that's pretty cool. Stephanie Brixie 16164. What's up? How's it going? How's your night going? I'm premiering my movie tonight at 9:30 p.m. CST. I hope you guys can watch it on this channel. What's up, Lisa? Lisa Darnall. Darn it all. Darn it all to hell. So my movie is premiering tonight. Stray Kids. It's taken me 15 years to make. It's not the most Hollywood thing you've ever seen. It's a we call it an amateur kind of movie. It's taken me a long time. It's a really long process to understand storytelling, filmmaking, the art of film, cinema. So I gotta say, this one is like, if I were to get a camera today and a budget and actors, I could do a way better job today than I could back then. Lisa, she says, "Hi, my name is Chloe." I see, I see. Well, hi, Chloe. Hi, Chloe, and everybody else on board watching. Happy New Year's to everybody. Happy New Year's. The first day. What's the first thing you did today? A lot of first. But I clearly had a plan, an agenda. The first thing I was going to do on the first of the 2026 was premiere my movie, Stray Kids. I appreciate it, Chloe, very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. There's, the stress that I put on myself a little bit, which is like the goals I set for this year. I'm already like trying to get my mind wrapped around all the goals I want to do, like write another book, make more films, short films, and another music video. By the way, we're going to be releasing a music video with somebody I collaborated with here in February. So that's the next thing. But yeah. Any questions about Stray Kids? Any questions? I'm happy to answer them. But yeah, it's a crazy thing I did. Following your dreams. It's never too late to follow your dreams. I started following my dreams of making this film 15 years ago, over 15 years ago, and here I am today, finally premiering it. You are the first. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you very much. Hey, one is the loneliest number since the number two. You know, nothing lonelier than one. Maybe two. Maybe two is less lonelier, but one is okay. But seriously, if you guys have any questions about the movie, I'd be happy to answer them. If you don't have questions, then we can talk about anything that you want to comment about. But yeah, I'm excited. It's 9:30 p.m. Central. My movie Stray Kids will be released tonight, so I hope you all can tune in here in in like a couple hours. Possibly after this live, you can tune into my channel. It'll be free. It's a free movie on YouTube. I'm excited, and I'm excited for you to check it out. Comment. It's a crime film noir, dark drama. It's pretty serious. It's about the underworld. It's about lost youth. It's about all kinds of things. Crime. It's about redemption. In a lot of ways. It's about and for it's a coming of age for the main character. He goes from it's not the kind of character arc that you would be necessarily proud of. It's kind of this. It has the same character arc of, let's say, the movie Caught Stealing, where the main character starts out as a good guy, and by force, because he gets put in situations that he doesn't want to be in, he kind of turns into a bad guy. But he has to, so he doesn't become a hero. He becomes a bad guy in order to win. So essentially, that's what happens in the movie. And what's crazy is I wrote Stray Kids in 2015. That was my character arc that I wrote for. And the crazy thing is that this Darren Aronofsky, came up with the same character arc is pretty crazy to me. But yeah, similar character arc to Caught Stealing. It also has a. Have you guys seen Wake Up Dead Man, where the movie starts out with the guy retelling basically the first act of the movie? He's just retelling. He's writing something. Well, in my movie, there's a kid reading from a journal. It's like the beginning half of the movie. So again, kind of crazy that another director, what's his name, Brian Johnson, did a whole movie like that, where it starts out with the guy retelling it. And so this is from the point of view of a kid reading the journal. Uh, the journal is what people are after because it has evidence. There's photographs proving some evil things that people do in the underworld. And so there's a dirty cop after it. There's a hired killer after it. There's a kingpin after it. Drug lord after it. I mean, it's crazy. It's a pretty crazy movie. Krishna, what's up? He says, "Hi, dude. Hey, dude. I'm watching in my PC. Nice, 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 nice. Very nice. I bet. Do I look like a little rectangular square? Yeah. If you can, Krishna, can you catch my movie tonight? Stray Kids. It's gonna be premiering at 9:30 CST. But if you want to simplify it, it'll be like in a couple of hours. It has a countdown. It has a 2-minute countdown. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna sit down and put it on my television, on my YouTube, and pop up YouTube on my TV and watch it. I'm excited about it. Again, not it's my best work that I could have done in 2015. It's gonna premiere right here on YouTube on my channel for free. And so I hope everyone who's tuned in right now gives it a chance. Give it a chance. It's a very interesting film. Now, like I said, I wasn't as familiar and educated in the whole scheme of filmmaking. I'm a lot better filmmaker today than I was over a decade ago. But I will say this is what I would say is like the the highest point of me making a movie with no resources, no money, no connections, nothing. Right, just starting out. It's 8 p.m. right now, I believe. So in an hour, yeah, in an hour. My bad, an hour. So an hour and a half. Yeah. So an hour and 20 minutes, the premiere will happen. So on this channel right here. But like I said, I was in a time where I mean I still don't have a lot of money. I still don't have a lot of connections. So, but it is my most cinematic piece. It's the most ambitious. and basically as far as character goes, some of the most interesting characters. Um, if I had to say where does this movie fit in the whole scheme of things, it's very similar to Caught Stealing, but not as good. Obviously, I didn't have the budget or the actors of that caliber. All the actors were local. They're not even actors. They're not even actors. I decided not to go with actors. I decided to go with people who had the natural personalities that fit the characters, and I could kind of, with my direction, kind of mold them to the character and whatnot. And it came out really good. There was like one or two actors that were really stiff. That if I look back, I'm like, ah, the acting is so ugh. But we do what we can when at the present when we are right. So I did my best, my very best with this movie. I even went as far as doing ADR, audio. It's basically audio that I have to redo because the audio didn't come out too well. So, and there was one actor that wasn't available, so I had to find an actor who sounded like the actor in the movie. So I got him to come in and do voiceovers. He's got to match the lips. So he says the line. He's got to match the expression, the intensity, and how the mouth moves, right? Krishna says, "It's your, then it's my." Oh, great! Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, thank you. Yes, it is mine, and thank you for choosing it. It's a long movie. If I'm not mistaken, it's about I want to say it's like 2 hours, maybe a little bit more than that. It's a pretty long movie. So and it's very inspired by movies like The Outsiders, Francis Ford Coppola, Rumblefish, Francis Ford Coppola, two movies he shot here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I shot Stray Kids here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I even went out of my way to shoot in some of the same locations that that movie was shot in, because Francis Ford Coppola, when he shot movies here in the early 80s, it was a pretty big deal in Tulsa. It was a very big deal, and people even today look back and consider it a very big deal. Even though he's kind of in the realm as far as a filmmaker. He's kind of like slowing down and kind of like possibly retiring pretty soon. I don't know that he said that, but he is up there in age. But he doesn't. He made that movie. What is it called? Metropolis or something. It had a lot of actors in it, but it was like a very poetic movie, and it had kind of a not so good. It wasn't well received. Let's just put it that way, like his earlier films. But I mean, him directing that kind of movie in today's age isn't that different than what he did back in the day. He's a very poetic storyteller. He's very poetic like that. Stray Kids is not poetic necessarily, but it does have a lot of meaning behind it. The movie, I made sure that it's not a slow movie, that things keep moving forward in the movie. So I did the editing myself. I did half the cinematography, and the other half of the cinematography was done by kind of a mentor ish kind of guy friend who did half the produce not half the producing, but he produced some really he did half the cinematography and therefore produced some equipment that was needed, right? um Krishna says, "Don't care, I watch lots of movies in my life." So do I. Yeah, we have that in common. uh yeah, watch it, Krishna, and comment your thoughts on the comment section once you're done watching it, or sometime later we can connect on WhatsApp or Snap, and we can talk about it if you want sometime. That'd be really cool. All right, I got 5 likes. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Look at that. It's not just the one. Thank you. I'm being silly. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, very much. It was a lot of work to do this movie. It was a lot of work. I poured in so much into it. There was days where I would walk to the library from this parking lot that was really far away because I couldn't even afford the parking lot in the library. So I parked far away at this church parking lot that was free. I had to walk like 8 blocks to get to the library, and there was a computer there that would allow me to edit the film. But the thing was that I only had a 3 hour window, because then the computers would like lock you out, right? Because the library for some reason gives you 3 hours and then it logs you out. I don't know. So, and then, some days I would try to log back in and it wouldn't let me. So I had to wait another day. But most of the time I was only available to edit on Fridays. So only on Fridays I go downtown, walk to the library, edit this thing, save it on my external hard drive. Before doing the library, I had a friend that I knew from like community college days, and he was living in an apartment, had a nice computer, had DaVinci Resolve. And so what I did was, because I knew I wasn't going to have um, the, the edits later to do color correction, because usually you do color correction at the end. I made notes of how everything should be colored the way it was supposed to look, and then what I did was I colored all the footage. I knew which ones would be black and white. I knew which ones needed to be, you know, messed with and tone and this and that. And so I did the color correction first, which is, you're not supposed to do that first. But like I said, this was the only time I had this computer available to me. At the time, like I said, my friend had DaVinci Resolve, which is like one of the best softwares to use for color correction. So what I ended up doing was color correcting everything first, and then once he moved away and didn't have access to that, what I was able to do was finish the color correction, which was a big deal and took like a whole year, because again I could only go on Fridays and it was only available to me for like 3 hours. I had a 3 hour window. So what's funny is after he moved away, I had to find a new computer, which I did the library, and it was the same situation. It was only on Fridays because I was busy the rest of the week, and I only had a 3 hour window to edit the movie. So it took me a long time to edit this thing. Happy New Year's! That's not cool. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. How many times I gotta tell you? Happy New Year's to you. That's not cool. Jesus loves you. I agree, 100%, 100%. And Jesus loves you, but do you love Jesus? That's the bigger question. Do you love yourself as you are? That's the more important question. A lot of people don't love themselves, are very depressed, and they allow themselves to get depressed because seek they seek, what do you call it? They seek value from others rather than discovering the value in themselves. Dan's not cool says, I do indeed. Good to hear that. My resolution this year is to get closer to him. I'm on the same boat, actually. Uh, Towards the end of this year, I've been working closer to be more of a follower of what God wants and less of what I want. Um, Trying to sin less, and when I get tempted, I really have to put in the willpower to not sin, right? And to not use my vices. I quit smoking. I quit. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I used to smoke marijuana pretty heavily. I quit that, and then I was vaping, and then I had all my friends on YouTube like Krishna and everybody else say you should quit vaping, and I quit vaping because I had the support from you guys. I appreciate that very much. I was never a big drinker in the first place. I did drink kind of socially, but I decided to cut back on that. So I don't do any vices. I don't do anything weird, I don't, right now I'm single and focusing on achieving my goals, the goals I feel that are in my heart, that feel like they're a vocation. Filmmaking has always been a vocation to me. It was never a selfish thing. It was always like, this is calling me. This is calling me, and I have to do it. Like an obsessed, crazy person. That's not cool. Says, proud of you, man. I'm trying to quit vaping right now. So can I tell you the trick? My trick to I think it. What kind of vape do you use? Because I think the addiction comes in many forms, right? It's the habit, it's the flavor, and it's just the enjoyment, right? So I had to trick my mind. So what I did in order to quit was I got a piece of paper towel, and I would put it over the little open end of the thing, so it would kind of block the flavor and kind of block a lot of the toxins and whatever that was coming through. And so that would cut down a lot. And doing that process, using a paper towel to put over the, where you suck in the vape, it cut down a lot of the, like I was saying, but it made it like weirder to use, right? So anytime you, and that became a habit, using a paper towel to cut back on the vape. And then eventually, when I ran out, the vape ran out. I would still use it, but it was like dead, right? And it was disgusting. So like it was like the very, it didn't have the flavor. It tasted like very metallic-y and stuff. So I kept doing that. It wasn't working, but I kept using it as a habit until eventually I was grossed out by it, and I forced myself not to buy anymore, because that's what does it, right? We go out. That's the first temptation, right? Is like, go buy it, go buy it. You go to a convenience store, go to a shop, whatever, and you buy it. That's you got to put a roadblock right there, right? So just force yourself not to buy another one, even though you have the urge. But when you get the urge, use the one that's dead. Pick up the one that's dead and just suck on it, even though it's not working. It's like a weird, right? You got to break the habit, and so eventually, that's what I did to break the habit. It sounds kind of stupid, but it's a kind of a cheating way to quit it. Uh, the marijuana I quit instantly. I just was like tired of paying for it. I was paying $500 a month for it, basically, because I smoked a lot. I did enjoy it very much, but there came to a point where the logic didn't make any more sense. And that I'm a very logical person versus emotional. And so when something logically starts to make less sense, and I notice it's affecting my life in a horrible direction, because it was keeping me kind of poor. I wasn't able to save my money, and so uh, after years of smoking it, um, it was like I just came to a complete stop, because I was like, I'm so tired of spending money on this. I'm tired of like having to wake up and feel the need to smoke this every day, And it did help get me going. I think it did help the depression, But at the very end of things, it also, my hair started to gray, and smoking is like the number one cause of your hair going gray. And so I was like, you know what? I don't like that, because that's the first sign of your genetics going to shit. So I was like, I don't. The smoking is affecting my genetics, no doubt. So I sorry for the cuss word there, but it's true. That's what they say is the smoking. It goes in your lungs, it's in your body. You do it repeatedly, it's going to ruin your genetics. So I was like, the body is my temple, right, of my soul, and so I don't want to be the one who causes that, and I need to be more conscious and more willing to put more effort into protecting my temple. So it just came down to that. And then one day it was just really gross to me. The whole smoking marijuana, it was like, I can't do it. I just can't. I like reality better than just being high. I like reality too much. I like because to be honest, right? God, this is God's gift, right? To be here. And so I don't want to alter that. I want to just be here the way God made us to be here. Now, is marijuana necessarily a terrible thing? I think it was terrible in the sense that I was doing it every day. I did it for like a decade for every day. It was affecting me negatively as far as financially. I think that's bad. But to do it, I think very minimal every once in a while is probably not such a bad thing. Probably not. But I was dependent on it. So that's what was bad about it. Um, but I'm getting off topic. Off Stray Kids, my movie is premiering 1 hour from right now, just about, on my channel. So I hope you guys can watch it tonight. If you can make time to watch it, I really appreciate it. I would love feedback on it. That's like the number thing. If you guys want to help me out, watch the movie and give me feedback. That's the best thing you could ever do for a filmmaker and artist, is give them feedback, because then I can grow. I can try to understand things from a different perspective, from your shoes. Because when you're the artist, it's like your baby, right? A mother loves her baby. An artist loves their project, right? No matter what. But I need to get its outside perspective, based on reality, not based on my bias see of the movie, right? Even though I worked hard on it, I worked really hard to hit all the structural points, give it a character arc. I even made it like a French New Wave kind of film. It's got a neo-realistic. I mean, it's shot on location. It's not shot on sets, so it's a real neo noir. It's a really neo-realistic film. It's one of those films that you look back and go, oh yeah, this was shot in 2014, 15, Yeah, it was like 15. Was it 14? Yeah, I think it was 14, 15. I could be wrong. I gotta look on the. I gotta look back in my notes and the dates because it's been such a long time. Because I remember writing it around after 2010. I started writing it because I had won an award for a movie called Hatch, which is also on my YouTube. It has a 60, close to 65,000 views right now. Rodolfo, what's up? What's up, funny man? Um, Jefe, Jefe mío, what's up? What's up? What's up? Rodolfo in the house. We got Krishna in the house. We got Rodolfo in the house. Uh, that's not cool. Says, oh, Krishna says I can. Very cool. Over talking. Sorry. I do. I tend to do that. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. Dan's not cool. Says you just dedicated your time to me and sharing your story with me. I'll definitely watch. Thank you for your insight. I very much appreciate. Hey, you know, hey, this is a free flowing conversation. It's like I do this all the time. And Krishna is my number one man because he's my bro because we started this whole thing. Because of him, we've been back and forth all year, all year. So he's my bro. He's helped me really. I've helped him in certain ways. He's helped me in other ways too. If he doesn't know it, yes, 9:30. It's like 8:30 right now here where I'm at in Tulsa. So it's literally 1 hour from right now, basically. Krishna says, Rodolph, how's it going? Everybody having a good New Year? You having a good New Year, Rodolfo, so far? First day. First day, I wanted to accomplish something. I'm such an overachiever, right? It's first day of the year, 2006, and I just have to accomplish something right away, don't I? Houston, yeah, I remember you saying that, I believe. So I don't know what time is it there technically, because it's like 8:30 right now, ish. It's like 8:27, perhaps. So yeah, yeah, 1 hour from now, whatever time it is there for you guys. Yeah, it's 1 hour from right now. It'll be premiering for free. I'm gonna watch it. I haven't watched it in a year because I worked on it and I've done film festivals with it and got some awards. I got awards for like 2 years in a row. It's pretty fun. Um, Rodolfo says, "Hi, Krishna. Krishna's in India. You guys know that? Central. Okay, okay. Cool. So yeah, same time. Very cool. Um, Honestly, I don't know how many people are gonna watch it. Probably it would just probably be like the three of us watching it, perhaps maybe five of us. Who knows? I will kind of push it a little bit later when I have some money, extra money to push it. I'm gonna like advertise on YouTube. You can push videos on YouTube. I've never done that before, but I'm gonna do it just to see how it does. Who knows? Maybe it catches fire and goes viral, but I doubt it. But you never know. You never know. I'm not gonna be a negative Nancy about it. I'm gonna be realistic about it. I don't really have my hopes up about it, but it'll always be there. I got it done. That's the whole point. I accomplished it. Big accomplishment in my life. I want to prove to the film industry leaders that I can make a film with nothing. But not just that. I mean, this year I kind of have the same overall goal. It's to keep proving not to myself but to others what I can do with nothing. And next year I'm focusing on more on short films. It's gonna be, and then hopefully I have volume one that's already out. It's a collection of short films. Volume two will be premiering this year in April, and then hopefully by continually doing short films all year, I can make a volume three, which is just volume one, volume two are just collection of short films, and you can see how my progress grows. As grows. My progress is always growing. It's always going. The work that I do. So hopefully this year I'm able to accomplish a lot more short films and put them together as volume three, and maybe premiere that in 2027. Do film festivals. But I'm always just working on myself. I've never, I don't stop. I don't stop. I'm always working on the things I want to achieve. Uh, That's Not Cool says, I have a bunch of hype points. I'll hype it up for you. Sweet. Yeah. Very cool. Appreciate the hypes. I'm sure that'll drive a little bit more traffic to it. Rodolfo says, Krishna, I have a life of ease and luxury with many servants. I'm rich, very rich. That's pretty cool, my friend. If you're being for reals, that's nice. That's very nice. Very nice. Very nice, my friend. I hope to be there one day, but money was never a thing I chase. I don't know if it's the same with you. Oh, okay, just kidding. I know a lot of people who are rich and they don't even chase it. They're just lucky in that way. I don't know. It's like they're just born for it. See, like I always say, you're dealt a hand of cards and you just got to play them. Some people are dealt a hand where I don't know, their life seems fated for whatever, and they make a lot of money. Um, Everyone seems, I don't know, it just seems like everyone's fated for whatever life they have. It's kind of interesting. Who am I to judge? Everyone's on their own journey. Damn. I'm kind of on the same boat. I'm not even kidding. I'm not a minute away from bankruptcy, but it's crossed my mind because I have a lot of money that I owe, and the bills are coming up and piling up, and I can't even afford it. So I've been looking for jobs, but I'm right there with you, man. I am right there with you. I don't know anything about bankruptcy. I was actually gonna check Chat GBT and talk with Chat GBT about bankruptcy because I am right there. I don't want to pull the trigger on that. I'd much rather just keep my head up, be positive, and just keep looking for a job, keep looking for ways to make money. Who knows? I've been watching YouTube videos on artists who sell paintings for thousands of dollars. I'm an artist. I gotta hit that niche of rich millionaires who want to buy art from me. And then I'm good. Krishna says, if you want to make more money, so better call Saul. Better call Saul. Yeah. Where's Krishna? You are wise. He's the wisest. He's from India. Of course he's wise. They're all wise over there. Come on. They have their accent, you know. Isn't that funny? But yeah, so I'm just here hyping it up. I'm here hyping up the premiere. So all those that are watching, I'm hyping it up. Tell your friends, tell your YouTube buddies, tell your, who am I kidding? None of us have friends. Come on. We're each other's friends. Just kidding. I got a friend or two. I got a friend or two out here in the real world. Krishna says, I wise. Says it like Yoda. Wise. Me I am. Yeah, appreciate the hype. So yeah, that's I mean, I don't really have much else to say. I just came in here to chit chat, hang out with you guys, see if you guys would pop up, and you guys did. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool you guys popped up. But other than that, I don't really have anything much else to say. I'm just here to hype it up, hype up the premiere. It's gonna start here in an hour, less than an hour now, like 57 minutes or so. Let's see what time it is. Let me check my phone. My phone says it is 8:33. So yeah, an hour and less than an hour. It's gonna start. Am I doing my math correctly? Yeah. 1 hour. 1 hour or so. Typhon Wolf in the house. Watch out, everybody. Watch out. Watch out, everybody. He says Happy New Year. It is a Happy New Year. It's a very Happy New Year so far. Rodolphe says, Hi, Ty. Happy New Year to you, too. One is the loneliest number since the number two. Or two is the loneliest number since the number one. Sad and you happy. That sounds like a title of an album. I'm just here hyping up the premiere, folks. I'm just here having fun, hanging out with you guys. I keep repeating myself. Today is the first day of 2026, and I have to overachieve and outdo everybody and premiere my movie on the first day of 2026. Isn't that funny? My first goal, getting it done. Um, what else? What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm just hanging out. Just hanging out now. Just waiting. I'm gonna have a little bit of. I have some soup that I pre-made. It's ready for me. I just gotta heat it up, and so once I finish the live, I'm gonna start. Get ready to watch the movie and eat some soup while I watch it. It's gonna be weird for me to watch it because it's gonna feel new again to me because I haven't watched it in such a long time. I mean, I've seen this thing a million times. I edited this thing, I've cut it, I spliced it, I worked on it for so long that it's pretty much like I've seen it so many times, but I haven't seen it in such a long time that it feels right to go back and watch it with like fresh new eyes, right? It's gonna be a fresh new experience. Who knows? Maybe I'll hate it. It's been such a long time. Maybe I'll hate it, because sometimes filmmakers hate their work. They'll look back and go, wow, I really hate that. Like, what was I thinking? Because it's our early work. This is my early work, in a sense. Because like I said, I can do a much better job today making movies, which I plan to make shorts all year this year. I do plan on. There's a movie feature film called Hang Time that my buddy wrote. It's three friends hanging out downtown. They go bar hopping. That's basically the whole movie. And so what I want to do with that script is look at it, make sure there's some kind of character arc in there, make sure there's some kind of message, make sure there's some kind of theme, make sure we follow along the actual structure, movie making, and have like three acts. Have the dark night of the soul moment for the main character where he loses hope and he regains it to win the battle there at the climax. There's these plot breaking points that are important in story structure. There's the midpoint, which is usually the midpoint is like the highest peak of the character having like the most emotions, whatever it is. But it really, what it does, it really pushes the character emotionally to a point where in Act One and the beginning of Act Two, he's more or less chasing an external goal, right? And the emotional breakdown changes the other half of the movie to be an internal goal that he's after, essentially. Essentially, matter of speaking, it doesn't always work out that way, but that's kind of the idea with movies. There's always an external goal, external chase for the character, and then it becomes internal. And that's how you bring meaning to the movie, right? There's always the inciting incident, which is, that's the point where basically once that moment happens in the movie, it changes everything for the character in a sense. He can't go back to the old world that he was living. It just things change, boom, the story starts. Right at that moment, the inciting incident is when the story and the movie really kicks off. And I did a good job with Stray Kids nailing all those points. I've always been aware of these things. I studied screenwriting and watched movies, analyzed them, and whatnot. And so even back then, even a decade ago, I was very aware of these mechanics, but I wasn't as fluent in them as I am today. Today, I'm very aware of these things and how they work and how to make them work and whatnot. I'm also more aware of things that I wasn't aware of, like one thing that I learned recently was writing for the emotion that I intend, which I didn't really count that in the factor of making Stray Kids. When I wrote Stray Kids, I wrote it. I had all these mechanics at play, but what I didn't do is write with the emotion already knowing what I want from the scene emotionally. And so that's something new I picked up. You always learn something new as a filmmaker, and it's honestly, it's like I think that's like the missing puzzle piece of it all is understanding that yes, you're writing for an audience. I knew that, but the thing I as a writer that I didn't do is I didn't pick out an emotion beforehand for like a scene. So the scenes have mechanics and they play out right, and there's outcomes, there's negative and positive outcomes, and there's things that happen, there's reveals, there's twists, there's setbacks, but there's a very thing you have to be aware of, which is what is the emotion I am trying to make happen here for the audience? And that's something that I'm now starting to do. It's not something that I did back in the day because I just wasn't. I was too wrapped up in trying to understand the mapping and the blueprint of this of the story that I wasn't aware of necessarily putting like writing for the emotion that I want the audience to feel. So now that I know that, it changed the whole game for me. Now I write for the emotion, not just the mechanics. So it's a whole new layer of understanding that's I think will has improved how I would approach writing. And so now when I look at things, I look with that perspective of what kind of emotion my audience will feel and do I achieve that goal, right? And so I think I'm a better writer today because of that. Much better writer. I think that's like I can say that easily because that's a flaw. If you're a writer and you're not writing ahead of time with the idea of what emotion you want to put out and have the audience experience, then you're not a good writer. It doesn't matter how well you know the mechanics. It doesn't matter how well you know this and that and that. Again, if you leave out the emotional, you're not a good writer because that's you're not a good artist. You're leaving out the most important part of the whole thing, which is the experience for the audience. It's not just about going through the movie and understanding the where the characters go and how they change, but it's also more really important for the audience to feel something. And when they walk away from the movie, they go, "Wow, that was a great movie." It was a great movie, not because of the. I mean, sure, the plot and the acting, sure, but they usually walk away because they go, "I laughed my ass off. I cried my ass off." Do you remember that moment? That was so cool. It's got to have that effect on people, and if it has zero effect, people generally are not going to like it. You could have a movie that was decent enough where, the acting was decent, you could believe it, but it was shot with the worst camera on the planet. But if it got you to feel something, it'll click. It'll click with the audience. Because what happens in general with films, there has to be consistency. If your movie looks a certain way and you're consistent throughout the whole movie and it looks that certain way, it won't matter if it looks like shit because it's consistently looking like shit. The quality, anyways, of it. But if it makes you feel stuff up and down, left and right, and you're connecting with the character, the lead actor that's like basically the where you get the voyeuristic experience, right? We have these things called mirror neurons in our head where it's been proven by scientists that like if there's an ape watching another ape eat a banana, that ape that's watching feels gets the experience right of like what it's like to eat that banana even though he's not eating it. So it's very similar to movies. We have mirror neurons, and so we're watching a main character go through these things, and we're experiencing it, you know, as if the character was experiencing. We put ourselves in that situation, which is another thing to be aware of as a filmmaker, a storyteller. How many people are willing, they look at your movie, they look at your main character, and they make a split-second decision. Am I going to allow this main character be a placeholder for my experience in life? So it's essentially what's happening, and so these are things I've always been kind of aware of, and but it all it's all a big mechanical thing at the end of the day. It's like being a mechanic for a car engine. People who mechanics study cars very intently. They look at the mechanisms that make it work. Filmmakers do the same thing. Filmmakers study the things, the gears, the this and that, that make it work. And it's almost a harder thing to accomplish because it at the end of the day it just looks like paper, right? At the end of the day, all the mechanics you put in a story, it just looks like paper. You have to really look at it like you would look at an engine. An engine though has parts. You can actually see it and study it. You can see things flowing, airflow, the oil, the pistons, right, the fan belt. All these things you can see. But with storytelling, there's so much mechanics behind it, but you can't see them. They're almost invisible. So it makes it a little bit more challenging to to see it all, right? And one of the worst parts that I encounter is that writers today don't understand that when they write a story, it's an engine that they're working on. And the thing is, most writers, novice writers, they don't want to go, oh, I forget about formatting and structure. I'm a free flowing writer. That's fine, but you're doing yourself a disservice and an audience if you're not building an engine that's going to work really well. Do you know how to build a Ferrari engine story wise, or do you just like not even know how to build an engine story wise and don't even care? And and you'll realize the story sucks. The story's going to suck because it's going to miss all these mechanical parts that are very necessary to make a story work. And there's so many people I meet. They're like, "No, I just free flow. I don't write to formats." But it's like you're missing the whole point. If you're serious about writing a screenplay for a movie to be made, producers are going to see. They're going to look at this and go, "Oh, this script has no engine. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Period." They're not going to gamble on it. Movies are expensive. You can make it yourself, like I did. I took Stray Kids, and I wrote it myself. I produced it myself. I broke it down. I did all the casting things. I looked up all the costumes and objects and looked at locations, scouting locations. And that took in itself. It took like a year and a half to do all that to get it ready. I think it was like 4 years of writing. I think a year, 2 years of pre-production, 2 years of filming, and the rest of it was all editing. I spent like 7 to 8 to 9 years editing this thing because it just, like I said, it was a time issue thing. It was a computer thing. It was finding the right program. It was saving up to buy a good computer sometimes. That took a while. So, but I never stopped. I never, even though I was going through college at the time, I was in community college and I did university, still working on Stray Kids though, whenever I could, working a job, so on and so on. I finally got to a place with the film where I did Foley work on it. I did ADR on it. I did so much. I did music. I was gonna do the music myself, but I decided against it because it was gonna be probably the most challenging thing for me. I could have done it, but I think at the end of the day, it saved me like 5 extra years because I just ended up hiring a guy who does scores for movies, who's well known locally to make scores. So that was nice. I reached out to him. He quoted me like $2,000 to do the whole movie, which honestly I thought the score was kind of weak sauce. I'm not gonna lie. I felt that it was a little. I would give it a C plus. I wasn't necessarily happy with it, but I was happy that I did have something. I can't be picky. And he is a great musician. He is a great composer. So I wasn't gonna be like, oh, this is horrible. Do it again. No, I was really, even though it wasn't my taste and I didn't really necessarily like it, at the end of the day, I was thankful that I got somebody to do it, and so it's fine. It's fine. I think at the end of the day, the score works. Like I said, I'm not. It's easy for me to look back today and be like, oh, I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy. It's easy for me to rip it apart. But back then, in the moment, you're just trying your best, and that's, the best is your best at the moment. So who knows? Maybe I can do another movie this year, a feature film, and some short films. We'll see how it goes. But for those tuning in, yeah, please watch it. It's premiering. What time is it right now? It's 8:49. So it's gonna premiere here in 40 minutes or so. So that's that. 40 minutes from now, Stray Kids will be premiering on YouTube on this channel for free. Please comment below in the comment sections as often as you like. Pause the movie and write a little comment. Say, okay, I like this and this about it, and then keep watching it. Analyze it if you want. Analyze the movie for me from your perspective. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. I do want to write a part two to Stray Kids. I It's kind of like a Stray Kids I'm not sure of the title, but it's gonna be Stray Kids Salvation, I think, maybe the title, Stray Kids Salvation. Um, because the movie, I'm not gonna give it away, but the movie ends, like I said, with a character arc where a guy goes from being good to being bad, and so it'll be called Salvation or Redemption, but essentially I want to write part two where he goes from being bad to being good again. So Bronco guy, watch out, it's Bronco guy. Hey Bobby, what's up? I'm talking about my movie. It's premiering here in about 40 minutes on this channel for free. Stray Kids. I'm telling everybody. I'm hyping it up as best as I can. I'm telling everybody to watch it tonight if you can. If you got some time. It's the best I could do with $0. I mean, don't be put off by that because I put a lot of work into this thing. Cool, cool, cool. I appreciate it, Mr. Bobby, sir. Bronco Bobby. The Bronky Bobby. Bronco Bobby in the house. And you understand this too. As a mechanic, you understand that there's things to make an engine work and make it work better. And so storytelling is the same. When you write a story, when you write a script, there is components to the script, the structure, the mechanics of the story that make it work. Movies have a mechanical structure that is a little harder to see, but they're there. They're more of an intellectual mechanism, right? And I'm not saying obviously you have a lot of brains to work on an engine, but I always say working on a script is very similar to working on a car engine. Very similar. It's different stuff, but at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. A story is an engine that you have to get just right for it to work just right for the audience. It's not an easy task. And so over the years, I've stressed, on that point. I'm trying to learn. I watch a lot of movies. I break them down to explore how they did their mechanics behind their story. And the more I do it, the more I see things. And so I'm sure it's the same way. The more you work on engines, the better you get understanding engines to the point where it's like a feeling, to the point where your knowledge plus your experience equals you get like a sixth sense of a feeling of like this is gonna work, this isn't gonna work, in a way. And then you have to go back. Sometimes there's maintenance. You work on an engine, there's maintenance, oil change, filter change, other stuff, right? You can improve. You can change parts to improve it. Same thing with script. When you do a rewrite on the script, it's the same thing. You change things. You look at it and go, how can I improve this story by changing different aspects about it. And it's very, very similar but different. Anyways, I wanted to make that point because I was talking about that earlier, and then now that you're on here, I figured you would understand the most about that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I would say watch it, comment, give it a chance. It's not Hollywood. It's a very bare bones, gritty, raw movie. It's not Hollywood. But I tried to make it as structurally sound as I could, with a proper story engine behind it. So there's that. So hopefully it's got wheels and it'll fly. But it's a hard thing. There's a lot that goes into it. It's also, there's the visual aspects, which a car has its visual aspects, its design, the way things look interior, the way it looks on the outside. It has a design. Same thing with movies. There's cinematic shots. There's how things look, and that's the design itself. And that's there's a beauty to how the film looks on the outside versus how things look on the inside. So it's very similar to that too aspect. There's an outside design, the art design of the film. I put a lot of thought into the art design too in this movie. Um, it goes. It's a bit of Martin Scorsese slash Christopher Nolan feel. I jump in time, but I also it's about crime, but there's some depth to it. So it's like a Francis Ford Coppola, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese thing going on there, you know. So I hope you guys appreciate it for that fact. That's got some time jumps. I try not just to build an engine, a story engine, but I try to also design one myself. If that makes sense. I wanted to be creative with the engine itself, and I kind of messed with things, even though it hits a lot of the structural points. I wanted to create my own engine. If that makes any sense at all, I wanted to be creative in that as far as that goes, which is kind of a hard thing to do because as an artist, you know, you stay within the confines, right? And you know it works. But when you, it's like you need once you're familiar with the rules, you want to break them. So it's kind of like that. Include Bronco Bobby in the movie. Oh, like the next one, you mean? Like part two? Put Bronco Bobby as a character. Rodolfo. It is a lot of work. It's a heck of a lot of work. There's a lot of thought that goes behind making a movie. Not just a lot of thought, but then when you actually make it, oh hell yeah, it's so much work. It's insane. It's insane. It's you lose sleep. You work long days. You know you give it your all, and by the time you're done shooting, you're like dead. You are dead because I was just like dead exhausted. Um, I was working so hard on creating this movie, shooting it. I was doing a lot of the legwork myself because I didn't have crew. I was doing way extra work than any human being on the planet, to the point where it was affecting my immune system. I was working so hard, getting no sleep, that my immune system went down in the dumps. And when I was a kid, I had chicken pox. And so when you get older, your immune system goes in the dumps a little bit. And when you have chicken pox, later when you're an older guy, you get shingles. Well, apparently, I had been working so hard and not sleeping that I got shingles, and it scared me because I didn't know what it was. And so apparently, if you have chicken pox, the virus you still have it in there, and it comes out as shingles. But apparently, I was on the last there was like only a few more days of shooting, and I wasn't gonna quit. No way, no how, no way, no how. I got shingles like on the third to last day, and everyone's like, my parents and everyone's like, you should quit. And I was like, no, I got to finish it. I'm so close. If I quit right now, I won't shoot these scenes, and like I need to do these. So I patched my shingles the best I could. Essentially, shingles is like you get holes in your body, and you can just look into your body and you can see right into your body. You get holes. Your skin rips up. It's disgusting. I thought I was like had a, I don't know what the hell I thought I was just dying. I was like, oh my god, I'm dying. Essentially, you kind of are because once your immunity goes down, I mean, it's kind of like you are dying. Typhoneer says it's very interesting thinking about how you get an audience invested into a show. Yeah, it's tough. It is so that's like the toughest. That's one of the toughest things to do, to be honest. Typhoneer says the market for any screen art form is highly competitive in America. Oh, insanely competitive. I mean, nowadays, you've got Bollywood, you got so many foreign films. It's insanely competitive. I went to American Film Market, and there's so many people trying to sell their movies. I wanted to sell Stray Kids, and I just couldn't do it because there's just so many people in line to sell their movies. And you're just like, man, there's so many filmmakers out there. It's insane. But competing against not just everyone being currently marketed, but the whole legacy of media that people can access. Yeah. Rodolfo says you got to get that shingles shot. Chickenpox virus lives in your spine. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Rodolfo. Yeah, I hear it's a real painful. Yeah, oh, it was. It was painful. Yeah, I like I said, I was. They're just it just your skin opens up these holes, and like your skin opens up. I had like three holes that looked like bullet holes, and I was patching it up and putting like ointment and this like powder that I got. That's like a thing to cover it up to make it like into like a hard shell type thing. And I was taping it up, but it took me a long bit to recover. I think months to recover for it to heal up and close up. I have the scars. from the shingles that I got. And it was all from just working really hard, sleepless nights, working hard nonstop. I destroyed my immune system, even though I was like, you know, doing the things, right? I was still doing vitamin C, vitamin E, eating healthy. I was drinking a lot of coffee and things like that. But I was go, 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 go all the time, nonstop. I was like a soldier on a mission. Because that's what it is. When you're doing a film and you're shooting it, you're basically like a warrior and you're getting it through it all and you don't stop until it's done. Yeah, I remember it was pretty painful. Pretty painful. So where are we at? 30 minutes. There's a 2-minute countdown before, so you start watching. Excuse me. You start watching it. There's a 2-minute countdown. So that's gonna be fun and exciting. Um, what else can I tell you about the making of that movie? Like I said, it took me 2 summers. I'd shoot on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday. That's when most people are off and can do things. I rehearsed with the actors as much as I could. Um, Sometimes we did guerrilla style filmmaking. We didn't ask, we didn't have, I didn't have money for permits, so I would just shoot in the streets. I wouldn't tell anybody. So a lot of it's guerrilla style filmmaking. We shot in a hotel that we didn't tell anybody. We shot in the streets and stuff. We had security come out once. Like, "What are you doing?" And I pulled the old, "Oh, I'm a college student making a student film," and they're like, "Oh, okay." So got away with that one. There was a guy who had a classic car, and we were like, "Hey, can we borrow that to put in a movie?" And he was like, "Hey, sure, don't scratch it." I was like, "Okay, cool." And so we got a classic car in the movie. That was fun. Yeah, Walgreens. Yeah, yeah. Get a shot. Typhonier said, "Suffering for your art has a mystic quality to it. Real artists for thousands of years suffered for their art." Man, you are not wrong about that. It's a very strange thing because it's true. There's something spiritual about like making it and why I had to make it, the process of making it. There's just something there that changed me as a person, that hardened me as a person. It gave me more experience about filmmaking and about life in general. There's something about it, and something about having a vision and putting it on paper and then putting it into a visual form. It's a mystical process. You're not wrong. There's something there going on another level as an artist for sure, and having to suffer for it. Like, you pay the price. You pay this price of suffering for the art, and you get it done through the pain. It's so bizarre because I don't know any filmmakers that go through this and it's an ease. It's not. It's always a pain. And honestly, I always dread it. Like, I'm always thinking about, yeah, it'd be great to shoot another movie, but I know there's going to be pain that goes along with it, and so hopefully it's not that much pain. uh, it's like pulling teeth, man. It's like getting a movie done is like pulling teeth. It's a painful process. You got to put a lot of energy. Oh man, it's just, yeah, yeah. But yeah, you're not wrong there. And I suffered tremendously. I sacrificed so much to make this movie happen. It is unbelievable how much I had to sacrifice, how much I had to commit, how much there were so many instances where I could have quit, you know, and there would be no movie. Um, so there was times where I lost footage and I had to re-edit it, which was very like, it's a punch to the gut when that happens, and so there's like steps backwards. You lose time, you lost energy, and you got to go back and redo it. It's a real pain in the ass. I've been through some of that. But the thing is, though, the big thing with me is that I'm not a quitter. Once I focus on something and I have a focus, and I know that I want to do something and get it done, I will do it. I will do it. Doesn't matter how long it takes. And I didn't know Stray Kids would take more than 15 years to make. It's just one of those things where I thought, okay, maybe 3 years. I thought maybe it would take 3 years, but I was way off. Of course, like I said, I had other things going on in life. I had college, work, relationships that ended up being horrible relationships. Bobby says, "Wait, what did you say about adding Bronco Bobby to your movie? How about yeah? How about part two? How about part two? I dedicate a character named Bronco Bobby. How about that? Because I do want to make a part two. Yeah, I mean, 15 years plus. Like I started writing it in 2010. It took me 4 years to write it, a year and a half to produce it, 2 years of filming, and the rest was editing. And then 2 years of film festivals that I didn't really do much with the movie. Just the only thing I did was film festivals, screen it certain select theaters. Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll create a character named Bronco Bobby. I'll create a character named Rodolfo. I'll create a character named Krishna. How about that? Ty. The premiere is in like 20, 20 minutes or so. 24 minutes. 9:30. 9:30 Central. So it might be different for you. But it's eight. It's eight. What time is it here? It's eight. It's 9 right now. 9:06 where I'm at Central Standard Time. So I don't know if it's later where you're at or it's if you're in LA, you're probably two hours behind. Mountain Time. So you're behind then? Are you behind? I don't know. I'm not the brightest when it comes to that. I know that if you go west, it's less time. If you go east, it's more time. You're ahead of us. I'm central, so you might be. It probably if you're ahead of me, and it probably already started. And then if you're behind me, you got a little bit more time. Oh, it's 8 now where you're at. So yeah, you're like an hour behind me then. Yeah, you're an hour behind. So you still have an hour 30 minutes, Bronco Bobby. Bobby Boucher. um, but yeah. So here in my central time, there's only about 23 minutes. 23 minutes to go until the big premiere. I'm gonna set it up on my YouTube and watch it there. Yeah, it's on my channel. It'll be on my channel. If you can't find it, I did make a post with the link that said, "Here's the premiere. Here's the link to it." On my channel, yeah, on YouTube, on my channel, you can find it. It's going to be a video, and like I said, if you have trouble finding the link, I did make a post, and I put the link to it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like the characters. Let me know if you like how the movie looks. The look I gave it is my cinematic direction. I storyboarded the thing, so it has a look to it. I appreciate it. I'm excited too. Like I said, I haven't seen this in like over a year. I have well less than that. Probably I haven't seen this in it's been like 6 months since I've seen it. So in a lot of ways, I'm looking at it with fresh eyes. Plus the fact that some of you guys will be watching is actually pretty exciting. I'm not going to be the only one watching it. um, but yeah, I made a short too. I made a little short that you go to my short section. I'm talking about the movie. There's a trailer. There's like 2 trailers I have with Stray Kids. Um, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I guess I'm gonna wrap up here in a bit, in like 10, 15 more minutes. So I'll just hang out with you guys. Rodolfo says, "Stray kids. Does this mean runaways or neglected rich kids or kids with busy single mothers? All of the above. All of the above, actually. It's runaways. It's rich kids who run away for some weird reason, but it's true to life. I've met rich kids that have run away. I've met single mothers who have kids who run away. I've met a lot of these things are based on things that I've met people like this, and I've actually kind of they're true to life. These are people I've met, and there's actually a girl in the movie who who's who comes from a single mother household, and her name was Anna, and she actually she overdosed with fentanyl, not like a couple of years back. Made me really sad. Uh, but that's actually in the movie too, which is crazy. So she's in the movie, and the black and white portion of the movie, she meets this character named Bones, and Bones is using her, and then we later see Anna dead on the ground. I didn't say from what, but it was obviously from some kind of drug overdose, and oddly enough, true to life, she actually overdosed on fentanyl, and we were like really good friends, which is like really sad. She overdosed on fentanyl and died. So then the guy who plays the cop, the dirty cop, he died from cancer years back, which was like really sad. He was actually one of the better actors I ever worked with. He actually wanted to be an actor. Like these guys that I worked with were people I kind of roped in, convinced them to play the part because I thought they'd be really good for the part. They seemed really natural for the part. So I worked with people that weren't actors, but the guy who was playing the cop was actually taking acting lessons and really trying to be an actor and this and that. And lo and behold, man, he passes away from cancer. And I remember he was suffering already, and and we did a reshoot. I needed to do a reshoot, and he was, although he was already sick with it, he did it. He did the reshoot. Um, and I was like really impressed by that. I was like, man, I can't believe you're doing it. If you need anything, let me know. I'll, whatever you need, and this and that to make you comfortable. But at the time, he was already sick with it. He didn't tell me what he was sick with, but he was sick. And it was later I found out he had cancer, and it was like I guess he was dying from it. And he still did the part, which is, and you can tell in the movie. You can tell the first time I filmed him, he seemed a lot more healthier, and the second time I filmed him, he kind of looked more bloated. Not in the sense that he was like getting fat, but there was something off that made him look bloated, and you can see it. There was just something off, and he looked different. He appeared different, and it was I didn't know. I didn't know he didn't tell us. And then I think like a year later he dies. He passes away from cancer. And I'm no stranger to cancer. I had it 3 times. I had it when I was 13. I had it in my 20s, and I had it in my early 30s. It's no fun. It's no fun going through treatments and things like that, and surgery and things like that. So a lot of my pain is probably in the movie. Um, and I'm kind of one of those filmmakers that I don't want to hit you over the head with what's going on. You have to really watch it and pay attention, because I don't want to be like, oh, this is what's going on. Hey, I'm not that kind of filmmaker who tells you everything, right? I let it play out. I had some fun editing it, time sequences and whatnot, and so you really got to pay attention and make sense out of it, if that makes any sense. My cop actor he was getting older. He was in his 50s. He was in his 50s, and he was at a point in his life where he was just enjoying life. He was taking dance classes. He had a girlfriend. He, was doing the acting with me. He was really trying to squeeze everything he could out of life. And I don't know if he was already diagnosed with cancer at the time, but I didn't know anything. I All I heard was one day he died from cancer, and I was like, oh my god. I saw the clues. I saw him sickly on the reshoots, and then if you look back, it makes sense that he was trying to live to the fullest. I was like, man, I wonder sometimes. Yeah, yeah, I had lots of bouts with it, man. The craziest part is I first had it at 13, and I remember telling myself that if I lived, I was gonna do whatever I could to fulfill my dreams while I was still alive. And so here we are. I guess God granted me the passage to fulfill my dreams. I guess I don't know, but I've been through a lot of pain and suffering myself, uh, and not just me, but to see my parents go through the same pain, to see their son suffering. I can see the pain that they suffer as parents. I got to see that, which was no fun. It's no fun to see your parents cry. I can tell you that much. It's no fun. All right, so let's see what time it is, folks. It is 9:15. So 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, Stray Kids will premiere tonight on my channel, Central Standard Time. 15 minutes. So it's like 9:15 right now. So wherever you are in the world, 9:15 is the premiere. I have two brothers. I have two older brothers. They're the best brothers a brother can ask for. One's a priest, and the other one's a family man. And I am the black sheep artist, I guess. Trying to be a family man. I want to be a family man, but you know what? It's like I say all the time. You're dealt a hand of cards, and you just deal with them the best you can. If I'm not meant to be a family man, then I'm not meant to be a family man. That's it. But I am trying. I am trying. You can't say I'm not trying because I've been trying. I've been trying to do everything right, and it just doesn't work out. It's almost like I'm just fated to be the black sheep artist of the family, and that's fine. I've you accept who you are, and then you're a lot happier as a person, right? I don't know. I guess I was just always fated to be this character in life, the black sheep. I'm not that much of a black sheep either. I mean, yes, I do have my individual thoughts and ideas about life, but I've come around to the whole, Jesus thing. And I've come around to the whole asking for forgiveness for my sins and trying to be a better person where I don't sin. I'm a lot more conscious of of my weaknesses and my sinning. So I'm trying to be a better person, uh, not just for myself, but ideally, if I did meet the right person, that potentially being a good person can help me create a family. But we'll see. Life is weird. You want something, and it gives you another thing. It's weird. It can be so weird. Um, and sometimes you're angry at something, and then later in life, you learn to deal with it. You let go. Life is such a roller coaster. Like movies. Movies are roller coasters. Life is a roller coaster. Let's be honest. The older we get as artists, the more we understand about life, and the better we become as artists. So, but looking back in my younger days, I can see how naive I was, but at the same time, sometimes you need that naivete to get in there and do the art, right? Sometimes you have to be blind at the fact of how hard something really is in life, but you get in there anyways and you do it. It's almost better to start young because you're so blind to a lot of things and you just want to get in there and get it done. And so I had that luxury in life where I got a lot of stuff done being super naive about things. But now as an adult, it makes things 100 times harder to make art. And I don't know if it's because we just get in our own way, our own thinking, our own overthinking, or we just want to be perfectionists. As before, we didn't really care to be perfectionist, I guess. There's a lot more thought about things that I do now versus just trying to get something done, right? It's just different. I don't know. But anyways, look, there's about 10 minutes left. It's about to premiere, so I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna say, my friends, thanks for being here. Everybody that popped in, Rodolfo, you're a funny man. You're a sweetheart. Bobby Bronco Bobby, Bobby Boucher. Ty Fanier, Krishna, I appreciate all of you that stopped in and chit chatted. Is there anybody new that came in? I don't know that there is. That's not cool. I got that guy named That's Not Cool. He was in here for a minute. Yeah, I think he was new. It's a funny name, by the way. That's Not Cool. Chloe was in here for a minute talking with us. Stephanie was in here talking with us for a minute. So I appreciate all of you that came in and stopped by. But yeah, I guess it's time. It's time to go inside, get my soup, and I'm gonna drink some of that apple juice that comes in a champagne bottle. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna have some of that with some soup and bread, and so I'm gonna go inside, get that ready, and then get the YouTube on my TV ready and watch it. Watch the premiere. Who's with me? Yeah, it's on this channel. I'm gonna finish the live, and there's a video that if you go to my video section, it should say upcoming on there on the bottom of the video, like somewhere it says upcoming. There's a picture of a black kid. It's black and white. And it says like Stray Kids movie premiere new 2026. Yeah, sparkling cider. Yep. Dude, that stuff is addictive. I already had some for Christmas, and I was like, man, I can't wait to have that for New Year's. I already had a little bit of it, but I'm gonna finish the bottle. It's good stuff. All right, there's like 8 minutes left. I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready, guys. I gotta get ready. I'm excited. Leave your comments. Watch it. You'll be my best friends forever if you do. I'll write you in my movie as a character name. That's a promise, because I promised everybody if I reach 1,000 subscribers that I would release my movie, and so that's what I'm doing. I picked this day of all days, so that feels good. Feels good. Today's a good day overall. Get to chit chat with you all. Release a movie. No complaints. No complaints. Starting off the year with a kick. So okay, less than 8 minutes. I better go. So I'm gonna go. Thanks everybody for being here. Watch for it. It's gonna start at 9:30. And yeah, tell me what you think. All right, and then maybe we'll do a live chat tomorrow, and we can talk about it perhaps. So, anyways, thanks everybody. Thank you. Really, you made my day. You guys made my day for saying you're gonna watch it. Really appreciate it. So, peace out, and we'll talk soon. Okay.